We've got some good news in regards to the disgustingly horrific Rwanda policy. It's been defeated. Well, for now, anyway. So the government lost a court battle on the refugee policy as it was deemed unlawful. I mean, you bet your ass it's unlawful. The best bit is seeing the tears of pretty much the devil herself, Suella Braverman. The Home Secretary lashed out at phony humanitarianism, hindering efforts to stop channel crossings as the government lost the latest court battle over its plans to send migrants to Rwanda. Suella Braverman claimed the system was rigged against the British people after the Court of Appeal ruled the multi-million-pound deal, which would see asylum seekers deported to the East African nation, was unlawful. Rigged against the British people. This is a classic demagogue trope, that is poor people versus the working class. No, this ruling isn't against the British people. This has no bearing on your material conditions. What does affect us working class people day to day is this Tory government and how it's routinely screwing us over. Refugees are not the enemy. Let me ask, what would you do if you were fleeing a nation? Fleeing from gangs, from war, from persecution? I'm sure you, I, all of us, will be doing the exact same thing. The reasons why government do these, frankly, borderline fascistic policies is so they can distract us from the real issues. Currently, interest rates are soaring on mortgages, rent is just a joke, and we're basically in a perpetual state of crisis. I know, let's send poor brown people to another nation in which even the court reveals that we can't confirm it's safe. Clearly, refugees don't have an effect on housing because we've had homelessness for forever. And despite us not taking our fair share of refugees, are we suddenly housing everyone? No. Tell me, when was the last policy you heard from this government that would truly help us with the cost of living? Right now, and this is the same for Labour, in terms of mortgages skyrocketing, their policy is to accept the Bank of England's rise in rates and pretty much do nothing. Now, the line is, well, we need to address the underlying reasons. Sure, okay, but how? Oh, I know. Let's get a big fuck off sign saying stop the boats, because that will help. Now, I've only made material arguments here, but we should all agree how immoral our immigration and refugee policies are. Why are we treating people like this? It's not necessary. It's not about costs. It's because if costs were the issue, then we wouldn't have spaffed billions of pounds on dodgy PPE. If it was about costs, then we'd hike taxes on the rich. This country has a psychotic response to people in need. We bomb nations, which causes refugees. We have a literal monarch, which stole wealth from around the world. We continue with oil projects, especially across Africa, which exploits the natural resources and local communities to make profit for the global north. Then we turn around and say, fuck off, you can't come here. All the while telling us it's in the interests of the British people. It's not. No one will benefit from this. No one will benefit from human suffering unless, well, you're a capitalist. So this isn't the end of the government's far-right refugee policy, but I am lapping up any little victory, and it is so cathartic to see people like Braverman coping hard at this.